Just don't do it.
You know what I say? You know what I say, right? Let's say BBC wants to interview us. You know what I want to say to them? Fuck BBC, man. Fuck BBC and fuck the news stations, man. We don't need your media.
Because you might.
That's what I want to say.
Because you might go.
Me.
So there might be a half an hour interview or an hour interview, and if they cut everything out, make three minutes of the interview. This is what Postletar said.
Yeah.
With everything that was right,
that's
taken out, and then we basically said they ain't got your interest at heart.
Yeah.
They're gonna try and do everything to make you look bad, which I agree with. I'm not an interview person anyway, but I mean obviously you're gonna get brothers that are gonna do what they do. Yeah. But he just said that would be how it would turn out.
Yeah, because I don't cut you too, brother. And I mean that's Esau right there. Esau, when you're dealing with Esau, right? Esau doesn't deal with you straightforward. He's dealing with you on a more of a deceptive kind of way. That's his instinct. So you're saying this is going to make him look bad. He's going to cut that out.
He's going to cut that out.
Edit that out. And it seemed like it was a waste of time you going on that news station.
Like that's what I did the time when I cussed out IUIC in Brixton. No Elder Dubois made that video where I was cussing out the guy. They cut it out the part where I was saying he was wicked. They cut that part out because it was making him look bad.
Right.
They completely. So that's what people do when they'll cut that part out. Like for example, when Mr. Wise, when he was Ben Israel, right? They showed the brothers down there in San Francisco and how they pushed that white woman. Now, if you watch the actual video, she got arrested, man.
For starting the problem.
She got arrested because she assaulted them.
Yeah.
All right. She assaulted them. She got arrested. And she was a feminist as well.
Right.
Okay. But they didn't show that part. They only showed the part where they pushed them, so it made us look like we instigate violence.
Yeah.
When we don't approach people. People will come up to us.
Right.
So it's Esau, like I said, he's the subtle.
Yes.
He does things subtly, according to Genesis chapter 3.
And he's serpent-like.
Yeah.
That's his instinct. So, like I said, when you get Esau in an interview, don't think what he's gonna do. He's not gonna put you on the news. Or what he'll do is he will have you on the news, and he will edit certain things out what you said. And that's what Esau does. So, what I gotta say, and the thing about BBC protects a lot of pedophiles, man, like Jimmy Savile. So if we're dealing with BBC, if that's what BBC's been doing for years, protecting even wicked bastards, I'm too holy to go on that battle. I'm too goddamn holy. I'm too good to be on BBC. So when I say, fuck BBC, man.
Right. Yeah, whatever questions they have, all videos go up on the internet anyway.
Yeah, and you know what too?
The videos there.
And you know too, bro, I don't cut you, right? Because see, I'm against all kind of media from these fucking TV stations anyway. Fuck TLC, fuck BBC, fuck all of these different media outlets, man.
Yeah, underground media.
Like we was in Waterloo. I don't know if you remember, brother. I think you might have remembered. There was this woman, right, and she worked for some I think it was Channel 4, right? She was working for Channel 4. So I looked at her, right, and I said, this is not a joke. You know, we're not here to entertain you. But she came up just to you know, hopefully one day or another, we could go on Channel 4 and do what we do. So I let her know, look, this ain't no entertainment. And the reason why I knew that she was working for Channel 4, because she had the Channel 4 logo on her shirt.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So like I said, fuck Channel 4, fuck all of these fucking media outlets, fuck them all, man. I don't give a good goddamn about these fucking media outlets. And I don't give a damn to go on these fucking media outlets, okay? Right. Whatever plan they got, they can show up right where the sun don't shine.
You know, because we're not gonna get no justice down here by ourselves by trying to fight Esau. Esau doesn't fight fairly. He never has.
That's right.
And he never will.
Yeah, he never has. That's never been his game. Remember what he did to the Northern Kingdom, man. Remember that. Remember what he did to the Gadites, man. You know what he did to them? He put disease. His intention was to wipe them out using germ warfare, man.
Smallpox.
He put germs in blankets, man, and gave it to them. Have you ever seen photographs of what the children's faces?
I was watching one this morning, man. Smallpox, man. Face totally deformed, man.
That's what Esau came with diseases, man. He came with diseases that Gadites and the Reubenites didn't even know about it. That never knew about those diseases until death came.
Yeah.
Esau came to their shores and brought death to them, man. He wiped out was it the buffalo?
Yeah.
He exterminated them.
Right, and if you look at the buffalo scores stacked up,
Yeah,
you can see the amount of buffaloes they killed.
And tell me Esau is not the devil. I would have loved to put down that Fox News if I was Ben Yos. Ben Yos, who the hell is this guy, man?
Right.
Guy, man.
Yeah, Ben Israel, man, he just, he had his panties in the book.
That's why
Man, they knew to
yeah.
pick him. They knew to pick
That's
him.
right. That's right.
They knew to pick him, man.
Niggas have got
If
to
they
go,
picked me,
man.
man, I would have raised all kind of hell.
Niggas have got.
They would have said,
They
you know
probably
what,
got
man?
arrested. They probably got security.
Niggas have got
No,
to go.
not like that, but I'm talking about verbally.
Yeah.
Verbally.
You know what I'm saying? Because Esau's got no business accusing anybody of the like. That's the only thing you need to do. Just bring out how did you get a miracle?
The Judite spirit, man.
How did you get a miracle? What did you do to the so-called Native Indians? Talking about hate. Look at the hate you showed to them.
Right.
To this very day. To this very day. You stuck up the reservation camps are worse than the projects, man. The reservation camps are worse condition than the projects. Well, please go ahead.
This is Matthew 10 and 18, and it says, start from 17, and it says, but beware of men, for they will deliver you up to the councils, and they will scourge you in their synagogues, and you shall be brought before governors and kings for my sake.
And that's going to happen. Because what they're going to do, the Israelites, those that proclaim to be Hebrew Israelites, what they're going to do is we're going to be brought before governors, because see, the government, they already know what we're bringing out is true. They already know that what we're saying is completely true. And the one thing about the so-called white man is the fact that he doesn't like when you bring out this kind of truth about how the so-called Negroes are real Jew. They don't want you to bring that out, because then that's going to upset everything that the society's be out of. Okay, and the stigmata that they want to use with Jake is to pretty much, to criminalize our people, but by the stereotype. So if we can keep this hip-hop stereotype going, right, we can use that mechanism to pretty much keep them low and young. But when we call our people who they really are, that just upsets the whole planet. You understand? So that's why they don't really want us to bring this out, but we're going to bring it out anyway. Because it's prophecy and it's truth that cannot be refuted.
Israelites.
That's who we are.
You know what I'm saying?
And you're an Israelite too. One of the chosen people of God.
You know, and they've paid billions of pounds and dollars worth of money to keep this truth hidden from us. Okay? So let's continue. Oh yeah, you got it.
It says, for a testimony against them and against the Gentiles. But when they deliver you up, take no thought how or what you shall speak.
Yeah, meaning don't sit there and write a little page and read it to the governor and say, you, you know? It's gotta be like how when Yahweh asked Peter, who say men that I am? And he said, you're the son of man, you're the son of the Most High. And he said, no, flesh and blood didn't reveal it unto you. It was a spirit.
Yeah, brother.
You know what I'm saying?
You're in that situation.
It was a spirit.
Just let me know.
So like just like this, don't try to write down flesh and blood. Go by the spirit, man. At the time, because usually, the scripture says you don't know whether the spirit whispereth, like. Yeah. The spirit you never know when the spirit will come. That in itself is spiritual. Like you can't control the spirit. You know what I'm saying? That the spirit can just come on you, and then you can just be on fire, crazy, man. But then like the spirit can just not be on you. And then you might kind of feel kind of weak, and then a brother has to come in and help you. And you can't control the spirit. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes that zeal of fire just come on you, and you just rebuke and curse out. Then a brother needs to pull you and say, listen man, you can't be speaking like that. You know what I'm saying? the spirit can come on you like that. But it's all of a righteous. It's all of a righteous side. Go on, read that part again.
It says, but when they deliver you up, take no thought how or what you shall speak, for it shall be given you in the same hour what you shall speak.
Right, it shall be given you what you shall speak. You see that? So there's no such thing as what free will. It shall be given you. And the Most High is going to put something in your mind, and then you're going to be like, what? You know what I'm saying? There's the scripture say, I think it's in Amos, it says, son, he control your thoughts. He giveth man his thoughts. Okay? Alright? You can't control your thoughts, man. The thoughts just come to you.
Oh, yes, Job.
True, you know.
In the sleep, the Lord.
Oh, yeah.
Not even that one. There's one in Amos saying, he declareth unto man his thoughts. Okay? Right? That's right. That's why, how can the brother stand here? We didn't plan out what scriptures we're going to bring out, but scriptures just come to our head like a flood, man.
Exactly. Well,
That's the spirit.
You know why this? Somebody get John quickly. Get John 7:38.
Okay?
Real quick, brother. This one scripture is going to bring out.
That's right, man. Right? It's all everything spiritual. I don't want to cut off because we want to talk on this. Let this spirit go.
Yeah, John 7:38.
John chapter 7 verse 38, and it says, he that believeth on me, as the scripture hath said, out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water.
And out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water. And that's why we have this hope, like you said, brother. The scriptures just come to our mind and we're able to just flow through spirit.
Right.
Because we have this water.
Because back in the day, I would do that. I would actually come out to the highways and hedges with my scriptures.
I swear to God. Hallelujah. I believe in sin.
Says he believes in sin. That's what he just said. That's the devil.
But he's in the right spirit.
He said,
Let's be honest.
He said, I believe in sin. So like that. Listening to
So sin is going to make an example out of him.
right. But going back to what we're talking about, back in the day when I used to come out, I used to have like a paper with me and I write down scriptures. I can actually I could show you old school notepads where I've written down scriptures I was gonna bring out every day I come out on a Saturday, man. I'd have a list of scriptures before I come out. Okay? Nowadays I don't do that. Alright? Because I just go by the spirit now, man. And sometimes I remember watching videos of Elder Tahar, sometimes he had like a had some scriptures to bring out, man, at camp.
Now start from the class, they'll put a lesson together, and then they won't have time, so they go finish it on the street.
Yeah.
And sometimes, the spirit takes you in all different directions.
Yeah. You know? But like I said, who was reading?
Back to Matthew 10 and 20 it says, For it is not ye that speak, but the Spirit of your Father which speaketh in you.
Right, that spirit of righteousness, the scripture says, it's not you that's speaking. The Most High speaking through you. It's your Father that's speaking from heaven. Alright? Because when you're standing up against the governors don't represent Yahweh B'Hashem Yahshua. Those governors that you're being brought before, they represent this world, man. They represent sin. They represent Satan, man. Okay, that's who they're working for. The principalities of this world, of darkness, man. That's who they represent. So when they come to accuse you and to condemn you, that spirit, the Most High is going to put that spirit of righteousness, that zeal, to fucking confound them, man.
Well, that's that left-hand side that the Most High is building on. And once the Most High builds on the left-hand side, then the right-hand side is going to flip the left-hand side.
You know? That's right. You know? That's how you brothers that are truly building up that righteous, that character, man. It's gonna what's that word? It's gonna rouse you up, man. When you're brought before such wicked doers, man. When they try to accuse you, like that guy, Mr. Was, I would have cursed him out.
He wasn't in the spirit, man.
Yeah, he wasn't in the spirit, man. He was
I mean, I
He
get
was
what
a
he
sellout,
was
you can
doing
tell.
to a certain degree. I'm not gonna lie. I do get what he was trying to do because he was trying to be diplomatic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't work, man. It didn't
Right.
work.
He was trying to be he's trying to be like
And-
political.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so you compromise.
Yeah.
When you when you try and be diplomatic, you
Oh.
compromise.
Don't play the devil's game because he'll win.
Right.
He'll win.
And
He
he
tried
not.
to play the devil's game.
Yeah.
Trying to be acceptable to Esau, man.
Yeah.
An Israelite group that's acceptable to Esau.
Yeah. Because he doesn't want to lose his job. You can tell he's living nice, man. He didn't want to compromise his life. He don't want to. He probably has a Hebrew Israelite wife. He didn't want to compromise all that, man. Go on.
It's at Luke 21 and 15. It says, "For I will give you a mouth and wisdom which all your adversaries shall not be able to gainsay nor resist."
Right, so how can Esau gainsay what he did to the native Indians, man? How can he rebuttal them? He can't resist that because he knows that he wronged them. Oh, you're a hate group, you're a hate. What did you do to the so-called Mexicans, man? What did you do to them? Hold on.
Judgment.
You know what I'm saying? Esau, the so-called white man, massacred them. You hang them up 13 at a time and burn them, man. All right? Pregnant woman, he sliced open their stomachs. The child came out. He did some truly horrific acts, man. Chopping off hands, chopping off their legs, fingers, raping them. He did the type of shit you don't think would ever occur in a horror movie, man.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think that a man would actually exact out that level of hate towards another human being, man.
And excuse me, brother, right? And just to add on to what you're saying, I want to say this as well. You have to remember this is how the so-called white man built the society in violence. Like the brother just said, chopping hands off, lynching, what else? Separating families, and so many atrocities and wickedness that this man did to set this kingdom up.
Yeah.
He did all of that to set up this empire.
Yeah.
And there was actually letters written where their intent was to wipe out the so-called Native Indians.
Yeah, 1807.
Their intent was to exterminate them. You know what I'm saying? That there was their plot was to exterminate, to wipe them out. Okay? They wiped out the bison, the buffalo, in order to get rid of them, because they knew that their main food, that they would hunt the buffalo. They'd follow the buffalo. When the buffalo migrate, they'd follow the buffalo. And so they wiped out the buffalo, man. A whole species of animal, just so they could get that land, man. In the early 1900s, they nearly wiped out the wolves, man. They nearly wiped, because Esau did it.
You gotta get the scriptures, man. You gotta keep the scriptures coming.
It's Micah 2 and 2, and it says, "And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage."
How can Esau gainsay that?
That's him.
That's him. That's what he did. That's what he did. He said he covered fields and take them by what?
Violence.
By straight up violence. By hate.
Yep. And there's a law that he broke because it tells you Deuteronomy 19. Give me Deuteronomy 19 and 14, brother. It tells you in the law where it speaks about how you're not supposed to remove the landmark or the border of the nations, which you're given that land from the law. It tells you that.
Deuteronomy chapter 19 verse 14. "Thou shalt not remove thy neighbour's landmark, which they of old time have set in thine inheritance."
Right, in day of old time, sitting down inheritance. Because if you check out the North American names, they're mentioned in prophecy. When you read the book of Genesis 49, it tells you on how God, their test was going to be enlarged. I'm roughly paraphrasing the scripture a little bit. But that goes into how they would inhabit a large border of land. So let's read this one more time.
"Thou shalt not remove thy neighbour's landmark, which they of old time have set in thine inheritance."
Which they of old time sitting down inheritance from what?
thou shalt inherit in the land that the Lord thy power giveth thee to possess it.
The Most High giveth thee to possess it. So the Lord gave God that landmass. And then Esau went ahead and broke this law, removed the border, took them from their border and put them on reservations.
Yeah. You put them on reservations. Where's the equality in that? Like he asked Ben Israel, don't you think we're all equal? Do you think that you're superior to other races, that we're all equal? But what did you... when you put the so-called Indians on the reservation camps, where was the equality in that? Did you share the wealth with them? Yeah. Have you even made right what you did wrong to them?
Yeah, that's right.
No, you haven't. So you still continue that hate. All right? But then you want to make us look like we're the hate. In your constitution, I think it still says that we're still 3/5 of a human being.
Yeah.
So where's the equality in that? Go ahead, man.
Back to Micah 2:3, and it says, therefore thus saith Yahweh, behold, against this family do I devise an evil.
Okay, against this family do I devise an evil. So that's something that the Most High has in store for you so-called white people, man. Edomites. Evil was coming for you. And rightly so. And that's something that all the upright in heart should believe in, man.
Yeah, the evil's gonna come and bite them in the ass, man. The same evil that they wrote on the earth is gonna come and bite them in the ass.
Right. Exactly, that's right. See, when you're in this truth, you gotta know that when we're preaching this thing, we're doing it because it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
It's unreasonable.
It's the right thing to do, man. So really, and Scripture says Jacob shall not be ashamed. Ben Israel, he got ashamed, man.
Yeah, because he's not in the truth.
He was ashamed.
Because he wasn't in the truth, that's why.
He was ashamed to even say that he was better than the other races.
Yeah.
He was ashamed. The Scripture says Jacob shall not be ashamed, man. You know what I'm saying? You're meant to be bold as a lion, okay? With all the wickedness this man did, you shouldn't be afraid to tell him what he's done. Esau's got no problem. And anytime if you do something wrong against his law, he'll quick time.
Yeah.
He'll bring a police, take you to court, fine you, every penny you have.
To the full extent.
He doesn't give a shit.
That's right.
I know, because one time I crashed on one guy's motorbike, man. I had to stop my insurance, man, because when I had to renew my insurance, they told me I had to put £900 for the deposit, and I had 4,000 something left to pay. This guy didn't give a shit, man. So when Esau does something, when you do something to him, he'll bring the law down on you like a ton of bricks, man.
No spare. He ain't gonna spare.
He don't spare you at all. But when you point out something that he's done, he don't want to deal with that, man.
Like you're supposed to spare.
All of a sudden,
If you
we're
got
all
something to
equal
say,
now.
just come around here, man.
All of a sudden, we're all equal.
My man. You got something to say, just come over here.
I've got nothing to say.
Well, then you can have a nice day. Well, then you can have a nice day, sir. You have nothing to say, you can have a nice day. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna read let's read that.
And it says,
Because listen, man, like I said, like I'm gonna say again, right? At the end of the day, you said you have nothing to say while you're speaking. So evidently, you can just have a nice day. Exactly. Go on, bro.
back to Micah 2:3.
Exactly, yeah.
And it says, therefore thus saith Yahweh,
Like the devil.
behold, against this family.
Read that.
He said, therefore thus saith Yahweh, behold, against this family do I devise an evil.
So the Most High devised an evil. Before God was all about good. So that God that they're talking about is not the God of the Bible. Okay?
Yeah.
Go on.
From which ye shall not remove your necks, neither shall ye go haughtily, for this time is evil.
Wow, so you're not going to be able to remove your necks from the evil that the Most High, the God of our ancestors, is going to bring on these people.
Exactly.
So that's a terrible judgment. The fact that you know something evil is going to come, but it's inevitable. There's nothing you can do, okay, to try and escape that judgment. You just gonna have to drink the cup.
Yeah, like being on death row.
Yeah.
They give you that last big ass meal, whatever you desire to eat. But you're still gonna be put in the fucking gas chamber or get hanged or however they're gonna take you out, man.
They inject you, kill your ass.
Take you out of your
Esau's on death row right now, man.
Exactly. Thank you. That's a good one.
But you know
Esau's
what,
on death row.
And you know what I'm gonna say as well? Esau's on trial too. Like I said on what is it? I believe it was last week. Esau is being judged. We're the judges and the earth is on the court.
Yeah.
So this is what's happening right now because you see us on the streets all around the world saying the same thing. And what are we saying? What the brother's talking about. So what's happening is Esau is in court right now.
Right.
All right. And we're the judges. We're the true judges.
And he's being found guilty.
Yep.
He's been found guilty. Okay.
He's broken the laws, brother.
Exactly. Thank you. He's changed the ordinance. All right. Now the one who's going to bring that judgment is Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. All right. Because we're not going to do nothing. But anyway.
This is Ezekiel 35:1, and it says, "Moreover, the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir, and prophesy against it, and say unto it, Thus saith Yahweh power, behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee."
Mount Seir, that's the original land of habitat of Esau. That's his original habitat, Mount Seir, right, which is located around basically the Middle East, around those regions. If you notice, all these nations, they all originate from like the Middle East, man. And that's really where life came from. You go to Genesis.
And you know what too, brother? Just to add to what you're saying, because when you read that scripture, we're not prophesying against the land alone, which, I know, I understand that you're not going into that, but I'm just saying in general, we're not speaking up against that land. What we're speaking about is the people that inhabit lands. Okay, like for example, when you go to America, right? The majority of the people that are in America are Edomites. So whenever there's a majority of Edomites, that's what you call the new land of Idumea. Like we're in the land of Idumea right now. So what are we doing? We're prophesying against it. And the new land of Idumea is America. We're saying, look, America's going to be destroyed. Okay, that's what that goes into. Go on.
It's Genesis 36:8, and it says, "Thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir."
Right.
Esau is Edom.
You got it.
Right. Read that again.
He said, "Thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir."
Right.
Esau is Edom.
Esau is Edom. Okay, the word Edom, okay, Adawam, which means red. Okay, they're the red people. Now we know that's going to be talking about so-called white people. All right, they're the Edomites. They're the only people that are red. Everybody else has melanin to some degree. Okay,
But brothers,
some
what
frequency.
what about the ones that's calling them Arabs? Because you got certain guys that they're saying that Esau's the so-called Arabs.
They're not the Arabs.
So
The
you got
Arabic
Smith
nations,
on that.
they're Ishmaelites, man.
Right.
Those are the children of Yashmael or Ishmael. Okay? Even if you ask any Arab who his ancestors, he'll tell you Ishmael. They know they're Ishmaelites. Now the Ethiopians and Somalians, they know they're Kush.
Exactly.
I know East Indian shops where it says Elam on it, man. And also in East Indian restaurants it says Elam on it, man.
And Ishmael is a very common name among the Arabs.
Yeah. And Muhammad too.
And you know, it's what I corrected this one American guy that came up, right? I think he might have been Irish. And he said the same thing. He said, well, the Edomites are the so-called Arabs. So then I went and told him, no, the so-called Arabs actually call themselves Ishmaelites, and they are the Ishmaelites. And he said, oh, okay, you're right. So these people don't know what the frick they're saying, man. You know what I'm saying? If they're not on the highways and the byways teaching what we're teaching, which is the complete, unfiltered truth, just shut the hell up, man. Shut the fuck up, man.
You know? So
what I
Esau's
think
pretty much deceived the nations by giving them corrupt labels, man, and identities. So again, what we're doing is we're bringing that life, man. We're bringing back the truth, and we're ending the corruption that Esau spread abroad. Read this point.
Back to Ezekiel 35:3, and it says, "And say unto it, Thus saith Yahweh power, behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee.
So the Most High is against Mount Seir. Now, is that talking about the actual place in the Middle East, Mount Seir? No, that's speaking about America.
Exactly.
Okay?
Exactly.
Modern day Mount Seir or Edom is talking about Babylon the Great. The center point of Babylon the Great is America. The whore that sitteth upon the nations, kindreds, and peoples and tongues. Okay? And the Most High is against America. Okay? Because America is against the Most High. How? By holding the Most High's children in captivity and refusing to let them go. Okay? God, peace of God.
And there's even a law on that. Because if you have a servant, you still a servant, and he's still in your hand, there's going to be the judgment for that. There's a judgment for that. Okay?
Amos chapter 1 verse 9, thus saith the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Tyrus, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because they delivered up the whole captivity to Edom, and remembered not the brotherly covenant.
Right. Okay. That's right. That's right.
Alright. Back to Ezekiel 35 and 3, and he says, continue on, it says, I am against thee, and I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate.
So the Most High is going to stretch out his hand against Edom and make it most desolate. There's so many scriptures speaking about the whole land being laid desolate. Okay, the land shall be desolate. We're bringing them out earlier. Okay, so Mount Seir is going to be made desolate. By how? The way of nuclear fire.
And brother, could I interject just real quick? Right? Is anybody living in Mount Seir right now?
Not that I know of.
Ain't nobody living there, man. I mean, there might be a very select few people that living there. There ain't nobody there. For the most part to destroy that particular area.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But this is, like the brother's saying, this is talking about America. Because that's where the majority of Mount, that's where the majority of the Edomites are. And the Edomites are the so-called white people. Alright?
Because the power of Israel begins from America. That's like the top, if I may, the top of all Edomite nations, and then you go Europe, you go the so-called Jew.
Yeah.
You know, that's the power structure.
Yeah. That's Esau right there, the Mount Seir.
Yeah. I saw it on a travel program a little while ago. It showed Mount Seir, the building. It wasn't nothing to do with history, but just as a travel tour guide, and it was walking through and saying,
It's a tour guide.
tour guide place. It's a little monument place there.
Because they got all the ancient historical buildings, ancient Edomites, mountains, holes in the mountains, all that crap.
That's where they at, man. Them Edomites, they love the mountains.
Right.
You know, cave dweller. You know what I'm saying? Caucasian. You know, they love the mountain climbing. You know, the climbing Mount Everest. They love all the outdoor, the man in the field. You know what I'm saying? They love to be outdoors.
And the reason why ain't nobody there because all of the Edomites are some of them are in Russia, some of them are in Germany, France, England, Holland, and most of them are in America. So that's why you ain't gonna see no Edomite in a lot of Mount Seir today. And you got the ones of them that's calling themselves so-called Jews.
And they said, and the blessing was that they'd inherit the fatness of the earth. So they're gonna be in the nice areas of the earth, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna be in the desolate. They're not gonna, according to Job 30, desolate and waste.
Yeah.
They're not gonna be in those regions in the latter days. They're gonna be in the fatness of the earth parts. Okay, until the Lord come, and then we put them back in the pit again where they belong.
Okay, Ezekiel 35 and 4, it says, I will lay thy cities west.
Or lay thy cities waste.
And thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am Yahweh.
So no brother should be trying to live the high life in the city, man. Trying to live the high life in the city. Trying to, you know, live that city life.
But brother, it's not gonna happen in Atlanta, Mount Seir.
That's gonna happen. Exactly. There's no